Good evening. It's Wednesday night. It's just after 5 o'clock, and that means it's time for Keto Confab. We're a group of people trying to support each other with the keto lifestyle, specifically taught by Dr. Annette Bosworth. And we welcome anybody here, newbies to keto, people who've been doing keto for years, whatever. So each week we try and get people to tell us their win of the week, how they won, what good thing they did, also something they want to do better, and then something they're grateful for. My win of the week is I actually had enough willpower to get through the store without buying yummies at the checkout. It's a real problem for me. They all look delicious. I want that little mint chocolate something or another, but I made it through the store, 2 different stores on 2 different days. No candy was bought. Yay. So that's my win of the week. And what I want to do better, I've decided to give up yogurt and the sugar-free Jello I was using for my little sweet treats, because I'm seeing that my blood sugars are higher than what I want them to be. They're not in the danger zone. They're not bad. I'm not diabetic, but they're higher than what I want them to be. And so I asked Scott not to buy me yogurt and Jello this week. So I'm gonna try and live without them because I think I need to. And then what am I grateful for? I am grateful that I live in a small town. I watch all these people at the Queen's funeral and all these people fighting at McDonald's in New York or Washington, D.C. or wherever that was, and all the carjackings and everything and all the stuff. And I'm very thankful to live in a small town where bad things happen, yes, but they happen less frequently. And I'm less likely to be hit with an axe at a McDonald's, basically because we don't have a McDonald's. And I don't go into McDonald's anyway. But anyway, that's my stuff. Scott, do you have a win of the week, something you want to do better, and something you're grateful for?
Well, I don't know. In terms of keto, I don't know if I've really had any wins necessarily this week. But I have a coworker who, had mentioned that her blood sugars were out of whack and her weight was out of whack, and I talked to her about keto last fall actually. And I gave her a few sesame seed, or sunflower seeds, to eat. And she didn't really like sunflower seeds, and she wasn't really too interested in giving up her sugary sweets and stuff. And so, I mean, some people are just not going to do it. I mean, they're not going to commit to it. And again, this week she was mentioned something about she wanted to lose weight, but I didn't actually go into a keto spiel again because I really don't think she's going to do it anyway. And so, sometimes you just have to actually kind of smile and go on, because some people are just not going to be open to the, I mean, she'd already said when, so, some people are just not going to be open to changing their life as much as needs to be changed. So anyway, I don't know. Yeah, I'm grateful to be living in a small town as well, where all the women are strong, all the men are good looking, and all the children are well above average.
Except for ours.
yeah, I know. I was thinking that as well. Yeah. So, shout out to Garrison Keeler anyway.
Yeah.
And Prairie Home Companion, not a sponsor. But and then but yeah, I'm grateful to be living in a small town, and also grateful to have the job I have as well, because I think teaching really suits me, and And so, and what's the third thing? Something I want to do better?
Yeah, something you want to do better.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I want to sleep better, actually. I seem to sleep too lightly and wake up too often. I have no trouble getting to sleep, at night, as always,
Mhm.
no trouble getting to sleep, but staying asleep, sometimes around 3 or 4 in the morning, I might wake up or just maybe a half hour too early in the morning or so.
Mhm.
So that's something I'd like to improve.
Okay. Miss Tammy?
All right, something that went right so last week I decided that I was going to start to do rowing. You remember we talked
Mhm.
about that? So I did my 5 days last week. That was my goal, Monday through Friday. And I did Monday and Tuesday. No, I did not do it today, and I'm not going to do it today because I have to go pick up my husband and it's not going to work out. But that's okay. I mean, it can't be perfect on schedule every single day, but my goal is to do it every day. So that went right. I mean, I did all the 5 days last week, so I was happy with that. Something to do better. I had the same sleeping problem. I don't have a problem falling asleep, but I have a problem staying asleep. And I take sleep aids, but still they don't really help me all that much. And something I'm grateful for. Well, I'm grateful that my husband got that job because this is the job he wanted. This is the job he's been waiting 3 months for, and he thinks it'll be a perfect job for him. And I think it will be too. So I'm grateful for that. And unfortunately, I had the time wrong and my husband said he just landed. So it was actually 7:30 instead of 7:45. And he texted me when Scott was talking that I just landed. So good thing the airport is only like 5 miles or less away, and I live in a small town. So
Yeah.
I am going to have to go. So I guess we're not having much of a meeting today with us.
I'm going to make some comments on Dr. Boz's podcast from last night.
And we can listen to it.
And I'm going to read our second myth from Dr. Ovadla's book.
Another myth.
Yes, another myth. It's a myth.
Okay.
And so it'll be on the replay and you can watch it later.
Okay.
You
Sorry to have to leave.
Oh, that's okay.
I had the time wrong, and
That's
he's
right.
early too. So
Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
have a good week.
Yeah, have a good
See you
week,
next
Tammy.
week.
See you next
Okay.
week. All right, bye-bye. Okay, so we are reading through the myths from Dr. Philip Ovadla's book, Stay Off My Operating Table. And so myth number 2 is the food pyramid is good for you. The food pyramid was designed around 50 years ago under the same initiative that equated poor metabolic health with obesity. And last week, you'll remember we talked about there are plenty of people who are thin but are metabolically unhealthy.
Right. Yeah.
The creators targeted the heart disease epidemic by limiting the amount of fat a person should eat. The stated goal of the food pyramid is to keep people healthy, specifically by preventing them from becoming obese. But as you just learned, preventing obesity doesn't keep people healthy. In fact, it is the other way around. Maintaining good metabolic health prevents health issues, including obesity. So, so they want to keep us from becoming obese, but in the process, they not only help us become obese, but also make us metabolically unhealthy. That's not good. Okay, as I learned from my own experience and the experiences of my patients I have treated, the high carbohydrate, low fat diet that the food pyramid recommends keeps people in poor metabolic health. We've had the same food pyramid for 50 years. Just look how the American diet has shifted. We eat more carbs with fewer meats and fats. Skip the bacon and eggs and have a healthy bowl of high carb cereal with skim milk instead. The food pyramid exists primarily to decrease your fat intake at the expense of your metabolic health. Research confirms the food pyramid doesn't make us healthy. For example, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill's Gilling School of Global Public Health surveyed 8,721 Americans. Their study revealed that a shocking 88% have poor metabolic health. So that's 88%, you can extrapolate, I guess, that there's a possibility that of the whole American population, 88% have poor metabolic health.
And these were all adults, right?
Yes, these were all adults.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. The food pyramids guidelines, which the vast majority of Americans follow, have made most of us metabolically unhealthy. So our entire country is metabolically unhealthy because the government decided to come up with this food pyramid with a poor concept, a theory that doesn't play out. Avoid obesity and you'll avoid disease, but actually, and avoiding fats avoids disease, and that actually isn't a healthy way. So now next week, we'll do myth 3, which is the food pyramid is based on good science. So very interesting. Anyway, last night, Dr. Boz did her live every Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. Central, I believe, 6 p.m. Eastern. And last night, she went over her and some of her coaches that she has working with people. They tested their A1C a number of weeks ago, and then and found out that their A1Cs weren't that great. And so they wanted to try and improve their A1Cs. So they agreed to do some changes and then retest their A1Cs in 6 weeks. And so this meeting last night was a report on that. And I'll put a link to this podcast in the information for this meeting. And it was very interesting. Dr. Boz is of average healthy weight. And, in fact, all of the people on this were of average healthy weight. And not all of them decreased their A1C. One of them actually increased the A1C. And so then it was very interesting to listen to Dr. Boz explain why that may have happened with this young woman and how to continue to try and address it to bring her A1C down. Now, none of them were diabetic. None of them were in the diabetic range, but they were higher than they wanted to be. So I felt that it was a really good video to watch, because if you're watching your blood sugar like I am, I want to have a good A1C. My last A1C, I was at 4.7. I have done some cheating since that time, on and off again. And I'm going to have my A1C tested again in about 3 weeks. And I'm hoping I'm at least under 6, but I'm concerned, that it's going to be higher than the 4.7 that I had. I liked 4.7, 4.5 would have been nicer, but diabetic range starts at 6.5, but they say you're pre-diabetic at 6, anything 6 point, anything more up to 6.5, then you are diabetic. And so anyway, so that's an interesting video you can watch. Now, Scott, this person that you were talking about when we did our beginning, did they talk to you again this week? I'm sorry, I got a text and I had to stop.
Oh yeah, I was, no, the thing is that this person, just mentioned, she actually was talking to someone else, and I was in the room actually, and she mentioned someone else that she wanted to, lose weight. And yeah, but yeah,
but
I really don't think.
Yeah. So it's one of my struggles with my clients. I have my own practice, and it's a struggle for me to how to convince people to change their diets. It's very difficult. So many are not willing to even think about it, you know, and I don't know. If anyone who's listening, leave a comment on here about what might motivate people to change their lifestyle, change their diet. It's not statistics, because I can give people statistics all day long. And it's not always personal experience, because I mean, I have a great story where, you know, I've cleaned up my liver and helped with all my aches and pains and lost 100 pounds and everything. But a lot of times people aren't even impressed with that. So anybody who's watching this video on playback, if you have ideas of how to motivate people to take a chance and try and change their lives and get their health back, I'm listening. So anyway, unfortunately, we don't have anybody else here with us this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting, and we will talk again next Wednesday. All right. In the meantime, take care, like, subscribe, and take care.
Okay, all right, yep. See you next week.